Listen up, folks. I'm telling you, the Titanic is an absolute juggernaut, unsinkable, unstoppable, a marvel of modern engineering. It's like the Goldman Sachs of ships, too big to fail. Mark my words, the Titanic's a bye all the way across the Atlantic.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. I don't follow a ton of financial news from day to day, but everybody knows who Jim Cramer is. He's famous on CNBC for his manic antics on set and also for being hysterically wrong in all of his predictions, which is his job. It's kind of funny. It's such a legend, this dude is, that the inverse Kramer tracker has 350,000 followers on X, and it just follows all of his incorrect predictions. Here's the pinned post at the top of the account. Jim Cramer says that market action anticipates Kamala Harris's win. Thanks, Jim. Dude is so wrong about everything. And when I saw this today, I rejoiced. I don't want to see the economy crash, right? It's better when, stock market's up, whatever. Okay, I get it. There's a bunch of different arguments one way or another. But I knew that Trump was going to be just fine when I saw that Jim Cramer predicted a Black Monday-style crash on Wall Street today. He said that the markets would drop 22 points. He nearly broke down crying while saying
try to reach out and reward these countries and companies that play by the rules in the 1987 scenario. The one where we went down 3 days and then down 22% on Monday has the most cogency. We will not have to wait out too long, will we? We'll know by Monday. Fortunately, we had an excellent set of employment numbers today. At least it makes it less likely a crash will necessarily lead to a recession. But if President Trump stays intransigent and does nothing to ameliorate the damage that I saw these last 2 days, I'm not going to be constructive here. I will contain my anger, but only because I lived through 87, and in the end, I came out okay. I was in cash for the crash. I know what this feels like. Oh, and if Europe moves against our fabulous tech companies next week, then I will be furious. That I promise you, because it should not happen.
So Jim Cramer predicting a 22% market collapse, saying that today would be Black Monday. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the markets have closed today. Just closed, and let's go ahead and check in and see how accurate Jim Cramer's predictions were for a catastrophic crash. Here's the Dow Jones Industrial Average, completely flat on the day, totally and completely unchanged. The NASDAQ is up. It's green on the day. The NASDAQ made money. The S&P 500, totally flat, a complete baseline. So the guy's an absolute freaking legend. NASDAQ closes in the green, S&P 500 just flat. Less than a 1% drop today after Jim Cramer predicted Black Monday crash over the weekend. Thank you, Jim, you absolute total freaking legend, you, man. Stock market bounces back. 50 countries, including Japan and the EU, have contacted the United States to negotiate deals on tariff. The Trump effect at work. The stock market did spike today, just like a meme coin, when they heard that Trump would be letting off on the tariffs. And this is a really great example of exactly how stupid you are to panic sell at this moment or to freak out at all. Here's the market over the last 70 years. Okay, this is 1952 all the way to 2022. Let's see. Would you look at this? Here's the world that the boomers lived in, right? This is what $1 invested here, up here, right? You're going to have millions. This is the crash. Yeah, that's the full crash visualized right here in comparison to market trends. And you'll notice some very interesting things here, that there are little dips here and there, right? For a couple months, maybe a year, little dips here and there, little dips. And that the market always goes up. You'll notice that there's an average recovery time of 14 months to get right back up to where the market was. So idiots who panic sell are morons and are not deserving of owning stocks in this market. This is just a matter of fact. Matter of fact that I love with his Warren Buffett clip.
Investors are told, retail investors are told, that they should have a certain percent of their portfolio in bonds. Maybe they're told 60-40, maybe they're told 70-30 stocks to bonds. That's something that you should do, and that's the safe way of doing it. What are they missing?
Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. If you're going to do dumb things because your stock goes down, you shouldn't own a stock at all. No, I mean,
what are dumb things? Selling a stock?
Yeah, selling a stock because it goes down. I mean, if you buy your house at $20,000 and somebody comes along next day and says, "I'll pay you 15," you don't sell it because the quote's 15. You look at the house or whatever it may be. But some people are not actually emotionally or psychologically fit to own stocks. But I think more of them would be if you get educated on what you're really buying, which is part of a business.
So, speaking of the people who are not maybe emotionally stable enough to own stocks, the market's going to crash. NASDAQ ends green as CNBC's Jim Cramer, legend, predicted a crash. If the president doesn't reach out, the 1987 scenario, it went down 22% on Monday. That's what's going to happen. What turned out was the actual opposite. In fact, 70 countries reached out to President Trump in order to renegotiate trade deals in favor of the United States. Here's Trump.
Virtually every country wants to negotiate. If I didn't do what I did over the last couple of weeks, you wouldn't have anybody wants to negotiate. We would have gone to these countries, you want to talk? And they were, well, we don't want to talk. Now they're coming to us. They're offering things like even Bibi, and this is unrelated because it's a different kind of a relationship, but he started off our conversation today that he's cutting all of the tariffs, he's cutting everything, he's going to get down to a free base, he's going to do things that, in all fairness, other countries, if they said that, would have never even thought about doing it. Now they're offering things to us that we would have never even thought of asking them for because they're experiencing a lot of hurt. And the hurt is that they've taken advantage of us and we finally fought back.
We didn't start the trade wars. These other countries did to take advantage of America and our stupid, feckless, weak leadership that hates Americans. Kramer predicted a 22% crash today. Jim Cramer, one of those guys, right? Inverse Kramer, undefeated. Look at this. Inverse Kramer might be the strongest signal in the world. Jim Cramer called for Black Monday. NASDAQ finished up a point today. Incredible. Inverse Kramer, undefeated. That's right. Make sure the headline runs on CNBC and buy $20 million worth of calls. Kramer saying we're going to see a 20% down today, as predicted. Inverse Kramer in full effect. Historic losses, undefeated Inverse Kramer. Inverse Kramer rules the world again, strikes again, just in. The battle of Inverse Kramer versus Pelosi stock trader heads into the last weeks. So this is amazing. You can invest in Pelosi stock trades or the Inverse Kramer, the opposite of what Jim Cramer's says. So what's better? Nancy Pelosi selling on her privileged information about the American economy that she's in like partial control over, or Jim Cramer's dog shit predictions? Look at this. It's blue versus white. You can see here, Jim Cramer beats Nancy Pelosi's insider trading just on being professionally wrong. It's incredible. And now all the countries are coming to us. So chill out. Don't be a weakling. Don't be so emotionally unstable and so feline that, you have to be, Warren Buffett has to make fun of you. Be an adult, be a man, and realize that the experts have all been wrong for the better part of your life. The experts have been wrong from WMDs in Iraq all the way through to COVID. The experts are wrong. They're professionally wrong. You shouldn't listen to them. They're hysterical. They've been bought and paid for by America's enemies. And it's time to listen to the man who's shown up for you and who's been the same for the better part of the last 50 years. Donald Trump's been talking about tariffs and countries taking advantage of us. Now we can fix it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's breaking news. Scott Bassett talking about how many countries are now willing to negotiate, drop their tariffs to zero, and to make America and our economy sound and great again.
Larry, I can tell you that there are 50, 60, maybe almost 70 countries now who have approached us. So it's going to be a busy April, May, maybe into June. And Japan is a very important military ally. They're a very important economic ally. And the U.S. has a lot of history with them. So I would expect that Japan's going to get priority just because they came forward very quickly, but it's going to be very busy. And if President Trump, again, gave himself maximum negotiating leverage, and just when he achieved the maximum leverage, he's willing to start talking.